Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? This is the Gaming Life here, and as you can see, we are playing some Quantum Rush. And as you may know, this is a new game. It's being developed by gamesartstudio. They're the ones that they actually send me an invitation to play the game, which is I find kind of weird. It's a closed beta, obviously, so you need the beta key, and they're the ones that gave me the beta key. But the weird thing about this is that I'm not even popular. I'm not even underground. Barely anyone watches my channel. So it's kind of weird that they even gave me an invite. It sounds too good to be true. So I had to look them up a little bit. Look at the game. See if it's a legit game. It seems like it is. Like I looked at footage of it. It looks good. So I went ahead, downloaded the game, used my beta key, and here we are playing the game. So let's get right into it and talk about the game itself. Alright, so we're going to race, and here are the controls for the game. I like how they color coded them. The green ones are for movements, the red ones are for power ups, I believe, and then the blue ones are for the menu. But the weird thing is, you have to press F1, you have to press F1 to go to the main menu. For some reason, escape doesn't work. I was playing the game, I was pressing escape, and I couldn't get to the main menu, and I had to like press F1. So if anything, that needs a little fixing. Obviously, this is a beta and a closed beta at that. So there's gonna be a lot of glitches, issues, and stuff. One thing noticing from playing this game, the graphics don't look that good, and I have a lot of frame drops, especially in the heavy moments. The airport level, which is the one you're seeing here, is the one where I kind of lag the most. And there's like a beach level called coastal. That's the one that doesn't lag that much. That's actually the funnest one too, because I like water type levels. So performance isn't there yet, but obviously it's a beta. So right there's where I get my frames up again. And I think it's this vehicle, but the steering is just really bad. Like really bad. I thought, like, I played some other games, like there's in Kirby Air Ride there's a green vehicle, I forgot what it's called, but that's really horrible at steering, and that's better than this. It's like a pink soapy looking vehicle on Kirby Air Ride, but this is not a good steering game. That's what I'm just trying to say there. But that's okay, because I tried one of the other vehicles and the other one steers a little better, and I noticed the other maps have wider roads, so they're easier to steer and stuff. But for this one, it's kind of hard to steer. And look at this. I think the problem is, as soon as you steer, it just pushes the vehicle like right to the way. Like, okay, let's say I'm trying to steer left, and the whole vehicle itself goes to the right. Like, it pushes the body to the right before it could steer. Like, it's trying to do an automatic drift. Like, I'm not even trying to drift, I'm just trying to steer. And no, it's not the controls. I looked at the controls, I did everything I could, and that's what happened. So here I'm gonna use the other vehicle. I think this is like the first one, the first default one. This one had better steering controls, but it could be just because I was playing on the canyon, which I was talking about. Some other levels have wider roads and pathways, so that's the one that had that. This one was easier to drive in, but it's that problem that the whole body like just goes the way you don't want it to. That's really the problem with it. Other than that, it's not really much of a racing game. It kind of looks like it, but I think the goal of this game is to be like a death race type of game. Like, you have to eliminate all the other players, and they do have a death race. I haven't really tried it because I'm not really a big fan of death racing. I just like regular racing, and I know games have like a death race and a regular racing, and this game does have it too. But I think this game does death racing a lot better. Just the simple fact that, like how I said, how when the car steers, it just pushes the body right to the opposite end. And I think that's useful if you're gonna like crash into someone, or if you're trying to destroy their life forces. If you have like a power up and you want to use it right on them, I think that's when the game could be pretty useful in that regard. So it's pretty much like a death racing game, not so much as an actual racing game. And it reminds me a lot of F-Zero in that regard as well, because F-Zero is also about death racing, but it's a good mix of racing and trying to destroy all the other vehicles. I think this game doesn't do a good balance of that so far. but it also has other elements from the F-Zero, as in like the healing thing on the road, the energy levels. If it goes down, then obviously you crash. I think what this game could also need is like a manual boost, so you could just boost right in front of someone if you're about to take them out. I think that's also good as well. And the maps are just okay, I guess, in as sort of design. I would say the best looking map is Coastal, because they also had the water tube and whatever. It was just a good map. But for the most part, it's plain and simple for this game. Nothing too special about it. And I only played, as you can see, I'm only playing practice races because the big problem is I can't seem to connect to anything yet. Maybe the servers are not that well yet, or no one is playing it that much, so I could see why they're trying to get people to play the game. So I would say the game is not bad at all. It's like I played worse, but it's far from being good. And I think that's the point of this beta, is to talk about that it needs lots of improvement. Sadly, I'm not really good at saying, oh, like I can't just say make the game better. I have to be specific about it. So I would say first of all, get the performance better. That's kind of a given because of the graphics, and the graphics are pretty good, but the performance is just not as well. Also, the steering needs to be fixed, or have I think this is what you really need to do. Okay, this is what you really need to do. Have certain cars specifically made for racing, as in they steer well. They're not gonna crash into the wall every time you steer, and then have a line of cars specifically made for death racing. I think that would help out a lot. And if you don't try put both of them, because it's really hard to pull off. Only some games could do it. I don't think this is one of those type of games that should be doing, because it seems like they're focusing more on death racing than anything else. But yeah, Games Art Studio, not bad. Thank you for letting me play the game, by the way. This was pretty awesome. I never had this kind of thing before, so obviously they're kind enough to let me play the game, and you should play the game too. But I don't have any keys to give away. So the best thing I could do is give you the website, I guess, so you could know about the game. Maybe you contact them, tell them you want to play the game too. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Like, if they make more maps like the Coastal one, and they fix the performance, it could be a pretty good game. And it seems like it's gonna be a free to play game anyway, so you might want to check back on this game eventually. So anyways, thank you for watching, and peace.